We're going to launch into showing you a little bit of Arcol now, and then we got some great speakers for you, and then we'll take a break. We got some more speakers, and then the night will continue on.
Cool. Thank you all for coming, first of all. Me and Casey, so this is my wife, Casey, we planned this 4 months ago in a bar in Toronto. I thought, so Casey's an event planner, and I was like, it'd be pretty cool to run some event for architects. Little did I know we'd have 150 of the best architects in New York City. So thank you all for coming. We're going to do a demo of Arcol. We've never shown Arcol publicly, and because we're brave, we decided to do it in front of, again, 150 of the best architects in New York, and a live demo, which is great. I want to highlight, this is day one for us. We've been building Arcol for a little over a year. For the demo today, Mike's here with me. We're going to run through this kind of like a real conceptual project. Arcol today is built for the conceptual stage of design projects. Mike, want to give a little bit of context, kind of like where we're at, what we're building today?
Yeah, so what you're about to see, and what I hope comes across very clearly, is that we're tackling the whole conceptual workflow. So we don't say conceptual tool, it's the whole workflow. So from the very beginning of our project, collaborating and mood boarding and inspiration, and collaborating on your model, all the way through to presentation docs that you send off and collaborate on further. So that's what you're about to see.
All right, let's do it. Let's fire into the project. Want to start a new project? Cool, nice little loading animation that Mike did yesterday. So initially when you start a project in Arcol, you can straight away set some side context. Let's do where we're at today, 267 5th. Let's set 750 meters. So there you go, you got a map representing that. You click save. Once you type in the 750, Mike's a slow typer. We click save, and within 2 seconds, you're going to see 750 square meters of New York show up. This is all done in our geometry kernel live. So Mike can really quickly dig in. He can delete one of those buildings. He can use our kick-ass geometry kernel to start creating some sketches, adding an arc, and that'll close to create a face, which Mike can then use to push and pull that, much like we used to in a tool like SketchUp. That will then allow him to draw on the side of that face using a rectangle. So this is a parametric rectangle. He can kind of pull the side of it out. He's going to kick it back into the middle of it. And then you'll see in the top middle piece, the contextual menu appear. He's going to do a Boolean. Bang, you got a Boolean cutout. Mike, you want to let me in the project? I'll give some feedback.
Cool. So it's a demo, so he already has the link, but you would click this copy link, fire it over, and then Paul's going to join here in a second. So there's Paul. Hey, Paul, let's get this stuff out of the way for you. There you go. And we can follow along. So Paul's actually hopped over to a board. Boards in Arcol are the 2D side of things. They're infinite canvases. You can use them in any way you would use a whiteboarding tool. And you can do more stuff, which we'll show you in a little bit. Paul, I think, is adding some images here he wants me to reference, plus some fun stuff.
Made by Bob. Made by Bob.
Yeah, made by Bob at Corgan. Paul's doing some markups now, so if I go into markup mode, you can see here. So we've got the whole markup suite of tools. You can do pen, highlighter, callouts, all the stuff you would expect. You can do that directly on the model. And then when Paul is done creating that markup, you'll see it pop in the sidebar here. So the cool thing is that the markups keep the context of where they were drawn, and you'll see there's a screenshot that comes in. So if the model changes after the markup's done, there it goes. You always have the context of what the markup was. So no more kicking into Bluebeam, emailing back and forth with Bluebeam markups. You can do that all directly in the model. And if I follow Paul again, come back to the board here, he's just dropped in a comment for me saying, hey, check this thing out. I want to make some changes. Go over to Paul.
Cool. So at this point, I can be a project manager. I can be a job captain on a project. Mike's been kicked off into nowhere. Nice.
There it is.
Cool. So Mike can then use that. So we're a non-destructive geometry kernel. What that means is instead of Mike having to delete this and redraw it, he digs into this building whenever he scrolls down through our awesome elements list that we've got. He'll be able to dig into that actual building, take the extrusion that it's created, copy and paste it. Whenever he does the carrot. Good job, Mike. Nice. I know. You're good. You can copy and paste that initial extrusion, which again will allow him to, he'll kick it outside the parent. He can then turn that original one off, adding it through a layer. So layers in Arcol are effectively design options. You can think of these like Rhino layers. You assign a piece of geometry. You can flick them on and off. You can use these to kind of design options. On the second design, I'm just going to create a circle because my amazing markup said to make it a circle. You can then again use our contextual menu to turn that, to create a Boolean out of that. Can I actually see what that first one looks like, Mike? Can we like flick on and off that layer? So again, this is where you can see the ease of use for design options if you're dealing with clients live on a call really quickly. Let's go with the second one. I think it looks good. Cool. Turn back on the side context. From here, we can now go and create a presentation. So back in boards, not only are you allowed to have GIFs, images, comments, we can create sheet sets, and we create sheets. Mike's going to use a default sheet that we got, create 2 of them. We can stick views onto this sheet, and this is what you can use to present. You can also share this link with a client, or you can just share the sheet set, which would be a URL in the browser. Drag and drop on some images, some real live views of your models. Again, you update your model, these views will update in real time. He's going to use his amazing design skills to do some quick and easy design. Mike's a head designer, by the way, so he should be really quick at this kind of stuff. No pressure, Mike, to add a little quick radius. He's going to create some text on this, just to, again, really basic title blocks. We will allow you to import InDesign templates in some points so you can make this a lot easier, but it's just to show you some of the really basic primitives. We can share that as a sheet set, so you can copy and paste that link. You can create a new sheet set. It'll kick you out a link, which you copy paste. You can send that to me, to anybody else, to clients, stakeholders you're working with. That'll load almost like a PDF in the browser. It's designed to look fairly similar, but you'll have real views whenever views actually work. We should have real views on there. They're not. This is a dev build, so I do apologize. But we should have real views on there of the actual model, and they should be in real time. You can drop a comment on that, and when he goes back into his board, that comment's going to come through on the board. So you can, again, be dealing with a client, and they can give you a comment on the sheet set that you can deal with back on your comment. Mike can put a thread in it, he can mention people in it, and they'll go back through a sheet set. Anything else you wanted to mention?
No.
Cool. So this is, again, no, I'm good, actually. This is pretty, I'm good with this.
You're doing great.
Thanks, man. So, again, really basic. Can we just open up the model really quickly? So, again, super basic stuff we created. Jerry, where's Jerry? Has spent an awful lot of time building some example projects. Jerry's my father. We like nepotism at Arcol. So this is falling water. Just to give you an example of kind of the scale you can have in buildings. This is one of my favorite buildings is Eisenberg, Biggs Eisenberg in Massachusetts. And this is the amazing Zaha inside context. Again, super basic conceptual models using tools you'd be used to in SketchUp or Rhino. Everything's non-destructive. Everything is powerful. Speaking of which, we got a file called cool shit. We're going to show you some cool shit. So in this, again, this is the contextual menu. So the way we think about this is Arcol should be as easy to use as SketchUp, but really pushing more towards points like Rhino. So everything's non-destructive. Mike can create a Boolean through our contextual menu in the top piece, and then go back and change that Boolean type whenever he wants to. This looks a little more interesting for sweeps. He can create a sweep out of this. This is a pipe. If he wants to turn that to a tunnel, he digs into the sketch. Oh yeah, let's add the path first, sure.
It's all good.
Change that radius in real time. And again, if you're in the file with somebody, that'll all update in real time for you. You can edit the sketch. You can add points to the sketch. It's pretty cool. At least I think it is. You can add an arc. So again, you can update sweep in real time. We're entirely non-destructive. And it's similar for everything else, lofts, and all the other algorithms we've built. So again, ease of use of SketchUp, but really pushing more to power something like Rhino. Anything else you want to mention? Cool. We're happy to take questions, thoughts. Oh, actually, sorry, wait. We got one more thing. One more thing. Mike's going to open up a thing. So we did this last night. James is going to be very annoyed that I'm doing this live, and I do apologize, James. But we'll leave this QR code up for a couple minutes while Bob's getting set up. If you scan this QR code, you're going to open the model that we just created live on your phone. I see some phones coming out. It's really cool. Please don't give out when it crashes. We literally built this on Sunday night. But it should kick open a link. It'll give you a mobile viewer. James just did this because he's awesome and because it would be cool. But please don't rely on us for this. It was literally built yesterday. Thank you guys. Again, I said this is day one for us. We're excited. And thank you all for coming.